This is True with True Concept 360.
Traces of the crime are left in the environment. The location where a crime took place can be full of physical evidence, which can link the crime to the criminal and ultimately assist the police in their investigation.
We are back with the second segment of the video, College Student Goes Missing. Let's jump right into it.
Yep. Hey, sit tight, okay? So he's straight up admitted to it, everything. He said she's out in the river on the east side of the city somewhere.
East side of the city?
Yeah. Like, what do you say, East Main or something? He told me. He knows. He didn't tell me that much yet.
Okay.
Donovan Lewis was happy to keep talking, though officers preferred to have detectives assigned before they took the interview any further. As they placed Donovan formally under arrest and in the back of a cruiser, he continued to provide scattered details. Officer Libretto arrived back on scene to find that the case that seemed to be only a possible missing persons minutes earlier was now a homicide.
Is she in the truck one of these cars?
No. He told us that he's in creek somewhere on the east side. I think maybe on the east side of the town he's in.
In the creek?
Okay.
Well, that took a twist.
That he took her life.
Yeah, I'm not thinking that way at all.
Officer Lockett was now the point of contact. He drove Donovan to the station and continued to make small talk with him while they awaited the arrival of detectives.
If he chooses to spontaneously utter things after the fact, then that's him. Okay? You've already told him twice now. And then you don't want to talk, you don't have to talk, those kind of things. Okay? When you go back in, move his chair to the other side of the table. Okay. And just tell him I don't want you in that corner. I'd like you closer to me. My sergeant's gonna know all about safety.
So stay where I'm at?
Stay where you're at. Put him over in that little corner so we can see him. Okay. But other than that, you're doing great, man. Just keep up the small talk.
When Lockett got Donovan talking, the 25-year-old made some surprising accusations. He explained that after going through his girlfriend's phone, he discovered inappropriate text messages from her pastor. He believed that the two were physically involved.
Wait a minute. Okay. Now this is where it get kind of weird. So he wasn't for sure. He wasn't for certain that they were physically messing around. He just know that the pastor was helping her pay bills, but he wasn't for certain if they were messing around, especially at this point. So it could have been a situation that they wasn't even messing around, and he unalived her.
He further claimed that since Anaya had been struggling financially, that she had been blackmailing the pastor while Donovan was out of state.
What?
The pastor had been paying her rent, her phone bill, and given her the second Malibu to drive.
What?
What's been going on?
So she was calling the pastor to
Just had
give her the money or paying her bills as if she was going to mess with her.
The car had the pastor laundered. That tire went flat.
Oh, is that what happened?
It was a slow leak, so you had to keep refilling in and refilling in. And on Sunday, when my family lighthouse, she wanted to go to church. She went outside, the front tire was flat.
Think somebody's doing it? You think the car's just old and the tires are bad or what?
I don't know. I found out that whatever she got going on with the pastor.
Oh.
And when she got the car, she told me and McKenna came to pick her up, and she told me, you know, she got a new car, we got a loaner car from the church. Recently, she told me, after I kind of gave her, I told her I want to have a sit down with her, because he ended up picking her up and apparently threatened her.
The pastor threatened her over the car. Why?
Because she was using him. She told him she would tell her. And he said, you can't do this to me.
How was he using her? Like they had a relationship or something going on, you mean?
I went through her phone.
Who's her pastor? What church she goes to?
Second Baptist, right there by the bus station.
Okay.
Pastor Strickland.
Pastor Strickland.
An argument had broken out at Aniah's apartment that Sunday, prompted in part by the ongoing tensions caused by her relationship with her pastor, Strick Strickland, of the Second Baptist Church. The pastor, who was married, was also the local president of the NAACP.
Uh-oh.
Aniah began attending his church at the beginning of that year.
Uh-oh.
And I went through her phone. She tussled with me about her phone. You know, she died on her phone. Kind of got in like a fetal position with all her knees in her hands and saw that it was a pastor and saw what he said. And, you know, she kind of just gave up and gave her the phone. And the whole time she was laughing. Grinning. When she gave me the phone, she was grinning and
I
laughing.
thought you probably know nothing really going on.
Because you know, okay, if I do make that accusation, she could have that reaction that she had. Just to think about that after we find out it's fucked up.
Buddy, you really got it.
Upon the arrival of detectives, Donovan Lewis offered a full written confession to the murder. Donovan wrote that Aniah's Malibu had continued to get flat tires. The pastor had paid to have the tires mended at least once. Strickland then offered her the second Malibu, which he claimed to own, for her use. It too began getting flats and became unserviceable. The pastor began coming by the apartment more and more frequently to collect Aniah. Earlier in the—
Wait a minute. It seemed like to me, that the pastor was soliciting this lady, creating problems and issues with this lady so that this lady somehow can depend on him for something and put her in a bind with him to force her into having sex. That's what it seemed like to me. I could be wrong, but that's what it seemed like to me.
She had taken an all-expense-paid trip with him and other choir members to the pastor's native Mississippi. According to Donovan, Aniah had admitted to him that she was using the relationship as leverage. After threatening to expose their relationship to his wife and others, Donovan claimed that Strickland had threatened Aniah. Around the same time he dropped off the Malibu for her to drive, she had allegedly said that the pastor made it clear that he was willing to hurt her.
What? So the pastor is threatening her because she's not willing to give her body up to him. And apparently, he said something about the wife, but at the same time, Aniah is threatening to expose him to the congregation of the wife and the pastor relationship.
That Sunday, Donovan had been drinking. Aniah was running a bath. He claimed to be drunk and exhausted from lack of sleep, having stayed up all night going through her phone. One text from Pastor Strickland in particular had him incensed. The two began to argue. Aniah told him that she wanted him to leave for good. She got out one of his suitcases and began packing his belongings into it. That is when Donovan said he struck her, rendering her unconscious. He said that he then went into the kitchen, got a large knife, and returned to the bedroom and slit her throat and stabbed her.
Oh my goodness. Buddy done went ham, and he's not even for certain if she was messing around with the pastor. He just assuming that the activity that was going on. And he took her life.
He admitted that he then put a garbage bag over her head and put her into the suitcase.
Wow.
He placed the suitcase in a dumpster outside of the visitor parking. The next day, in the dark, he retrieved it. Driving his mother's van, he drove out to Comstock
Took his
Creek
mom's
on
van.
East Main past Sprinkle Road. He left Anaya in a deep stream off of the creek, weighing the suitcase down with mud so it would sink toward the bottom of the water.
He had no idea.
He walks into a room and you know it's Naya, like all eyes are on Naya. Like it's just always been like that. She was supposed to start summer school yesterday and it's just like heartbreaking to hear like how it happened. She didn't deserve it. She always said, if something happened to me, I don't want everybody to be sad. I don't want nobody to wear black. I want everybody to be in bright colors. Trust me, I've been crying, but that ain't what she wants. She wants us to be as happy as possible and give her the best homegoing we can.
That's sad, man.
Investigators questioned some details provided by Donovan. In particular, they expressed some doubt over how the murder transpired, based on the lack of blood in the apartment. Responding officers failed to identify any signs that a stabbing had taken place. Upon closer inspection, however, small but identifiable stains were discovered in the hallway, on the edge of Anaya's bed, and on the bedroom carpet. Cleaning products already inside the unit had been used to clean other surfaces. Donovan had disposed of a mattress cover in the apartment dumpster,
So he
which
tried
had
to get
already
rid of
been
evidence.
collected by the time law enforcement reached it. He had placed the bath mats in the washing machine and disposed of his own clothing at his mother's home. Anaya's personal belongings, her purse, ID, and bank cards, were thrown away in a bin near to his workplace. Only portions of this evidence was ever recovered. The physical evidence was not the only aspect of his story that the detectives sought to verify. Pastor Strickland told the Kalamazoo police that Anaya Mack was simply a member of his congregation and the church choir. He was not having a relationship with her. Indeed, when pressed by detectives, Donovan conceded that Anaya had never actually admitted to an affair with the pastor, only that she was allegedly manipulating him for financial gain. Strickland stated that Anaya had recently traveled with him to Mississippi for a choir trip. While she was there, she met a young man with whom she was interested, and they started a relationship.
Oh man, I can already see it. The pastor trying to like set himself free from this whole situation, or take himself away from this situation, which it seems like to me that he could be part of the reason trying to solicit this young lady for sex, and he bribing her by paying her rent, light bill, getting her a car, or giving her a car to use. So, sir, pastor, you got something to do with this too. You're not excluded. Hell no.
He stated that since she had a boyfriend in Kalamazoo, she was hiding the relationship with the young man in Mississippi.
That's not it.
According to Pastor Strickland, Anaya was doing this by hiding this young man's contact info in her phone under his
He's
name.
a liar.
He stated she did this so if her boyfriend saw the phone, he would think it was the pastor contacting her and would not be suspicious. Roughly a month after the pastor gave his statement to police, he contacted them once again. He wanted the 2008 white Malibu returned to him. The issue was that he seemed unable to prove that it was properly purchased. Strickland claimed that the car was his wife's, Jasminique's vehicle.
And
He had purchased it from a man, presumably named Gustavo, but had no title or bill of sale.
Hello, I'm looking to speak with Pastor Strickland.
This is he.
Hi there. This is Sergeant Charles Trepa, Kalamazoo Public Safety. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about you, sir?
Not too bad, sir. I got a voicemail message from Chief Boyson saying that you had some questions about an automobile.
Yes, sir. One of the automobiles that was taken related to the Anaya Mack murder.
Yes, sir.
One of those vehicles belonged to my wife.
Okay.
And we are trying to recover it. We had actually misplaced the title prior to going out of town.
Okay.
And Anaya had reached out to us while we were out of town and told us that she had found the title.
Okay.
And that the title was supposed to be in the console, which I had looked in the console, I know 20 times. But anyway, she said that the title was folded up really small. So I'm thinking that this is going to be the car that you all find. It's the one that doesn't have any tinted windows or any rims on it. It's just factory.
Okay.
And in the console, you should find, I'm hoping that she didn't take it out.
No, what done happened, he purchased the car. He purchased the car to allow her to use it. Basically, it sounded like to me that he purchased the car for her. He bought the car for Anaya and never did get the title changed over. That's what it seems like to me.
Or put it anywhere. You should find the title in the console. Like I said, I don't know how much information that the guy had filled out on the title because he gave me like a bill of sale, which had all the information on it.
Yes.
But I misplaced that and the title.
Yeah, I know how that goes.
Ownership of the car was never proven, and it was not returned to the pastor. This would be the least of the pastor's issues, however, when later that year he was accused by 3 teenagers in his church of sexual assault. He and his wife stood accused of using their positions in the church and at a local school to coerce teens into their bed. One victim reported feeling unable to refuse the pastor's advances because he really needed the use of the car that the pastor was lending him.
Pastor Strickland is here. He hasn't gone anywhere. He's been here throughout this. He remains pastor at Second Baptist.
3 different things. Those bank teams for sex, CSC, and Pander. Can Mr. Strickland or did someone respond as
No, and no. Not guilty, not guilty, not guilty. Didn't do it, didn't do it, didn't do it.
But given your role at the church, is it typical for you to give teens, boys in the community money?
Well, there are a lot of programs through the church that help kids out.
But does Pastor Strickland personally give kids money himself?
I don't know of any situation where that has happened.
The Michigan State Police investigation into Strickland and his wife found that the alleged assaults took place between January and May 2018.
Whoa. So the wife was in on it as well. So the wife actually, they're accomplices together. They're a team. They're a unit. So they're doing this together. They're going after young men and women to solicit them for sex and to have a good time with together. So it's just not him. It's the wife as well. What a strange couple. And not only that, but they're a pastor over a church.
Messages and screenshots of photographs taken from the victims' cell phones supported their claims against Strickland. In February 2023, a plea agreement was reached. He admitted to using a vehicle to solicit prostitution. The pastor was sentenced to 1 year in prison.
That is, during that time within the county, did you knowingly offer to sell transportation services to TH and or TJ that facilitated travel for the purpose of engaging in what would be a violation of the laws governing prostitution?
Yes.
In a lengthy sentencing statement, the pastor continued to deny his guilt. explaining that accepting the plea was simply in the best interest of his family.
I'm not here today to be pious and to pretend as though I am innocent and without fault. However, I am not guilty of what I was accused of. I am glad that the 10 most heinous charges were dismissed, and eventually the prosecutors, with their backs against the wall, made a deal that I believe was too good of a deal to put my family through the risk of going through a trial. And I know that they'll use their imps in the media to try to pretend that they won in some way, or that this is some win for the prosecutor's office. This is not a win for the prosecutor's office, and it's certainly not a win for the cause of justice.
Donovan Lewis agreed to lead Kalamazoo police to the location at Comstock Creek where he had left Anaya.
It's a little bit sloped right there.
That damn pastor was right. Buddy he got into his feelings too much. He got into his feelings too much.
Never on this side of the yard real quick. The suitcase, or bring it all the way down? All the way down here? Okay, so you wheeler in the suitcase all the way down here?
I'll stop it.
Can you park back up?
That's just too sad. That's just too bad. If you want to watch, go and continue to watch the last end of this video. I'll be leaving a link at the bottom so that you can go back and watch the entirety of the video. But that's just too sad. And that pastor using his manipulation, his power that he has over the congregation to solicit younger men and women for sexual activity to have a good time. I just think that that's just totally wrong. But at this point, I'm just going to leave it right here. Thank you for watching. This is True with True Concept 360. Thank you. Always remember that there's 3 sides to a story: the plaintiff, the defendant, and the truth. Until next time, this is True with True Concept 360. Good night.